Hey gang, today we're going to talk a little geometry. We're going to talk about polygons, specifically polygons with four sides. Okay? A four-sided polygon falls under the heading of a quadrilateral. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about different quadrilaterals, and I'm going to talk about what makes that quadrilateral that kind of quadrilateral. So what I want you to be able to do today when we're finished, you can identify a quadrilateral and tell me why it is what it is. Okay? All right, so first, quadrilaterals. As I said, quadrilaterals are figures, are polygons with four sides. All right, four sides. So if you have a plane figure, plane meaning it's flat, okay, not a plane like it flies, okay, but a flat figure that has straight sides and it's closed, because to be a polygon, it has to have straight sides and be closed. All right, if you have a four-sided figure, it is a quadrilateral. So you see on the board here, I've got several four-sided figures. So for each one, I could say that they're a quadrilateral because they have four sides. But they have specific attributes or specific characteristics. And those characteristics are what is going to make them a special kind of quadrilateral. So we're going to start down here on the end, at this one. Take a look at that figure. Now when we're looking at quadrilaterals, what we want to do is we want to examine the sides. Okay? We want to look at the sides. We want to see what relationships the sides have so we can determine what the figure is. All right. We want to see first, are the sides the same length? We always want to look at the lengths of the sides. So if I look at these sides, these four sides, are they all the same length? Not on this one. No, they're not. This side is much longer than that side is. So the length is not the same. So we can move on to the next part about the sides. The next thing we want to look at is, are opposite sides, opposite meaning left and right, top and bottom, are the opposite sides parallel? All right, what does parallel mean? Well, parallel means that they run in the same direction, okay? They can either both go vertically, they could both go horizontally, they could both go diagonally, but they go in the same direction, so that if they continued forever and ever and ever, they would never touch because they run in the same direction. That's what parallel means. So, are the opposite sides on this figure parallel? Is this side parallel to this side? It is, okay? This side right here is parallel to this side. They go in the same direction. They will never ever touch. No matter how far I go, they're going to stay the same distance apart. They are parallel. Is the top parallel to the bottom? It is. So this has two pairs of parallel sides, okay? It has two pairs of parallel sides. Because it does, it's called a parallelogram. And I'm going to write what makes it a parallelogram. It has two pairs of parallel sides. And I'm going to do this for parallel. Two lines like that go in the same direction, almost looks like a side, like a leaning 11. That's a symbol for parallel. It has two pairs of parallel sides. That makes it a parallelogram. Okay? That makes it a parallelogram. Now this figure has one other name. Okay? Because it has four sides, it's a quadrilateral. Okay? So I can also put for this one a quadrilateral. I'm going to put an asterisk by this because that's its best name. And then I'm going to put quadrilateral right here, because it is also a four-sided figure. What I mean by best name, if I held out an apple and I said, what is this? Could you say it's fruit? You could. But if I held it behind my back and I said, hey, I have fruit behind my back, would you know it's an apple? No, you wouldn't know, right? I could say, oh, I have a quadrilateral, and you wouldn't know what it is. But if I said it's a parallelogram, now you know, right? So if I said it's an apple, now you know. So apple is the best name. Parallelogram is the best name for that. It's the most descriptive name. Make sense? Hope so. All right. So the next figure. Again, I told you we wanted to look at the sides of a figure. We also want to look at the angles of a figure as well. We'll get to that in just a bit. I want to look at the sides of this one. Are the sides equal in length? Well, yeah, on this one they are. All four sides are the same. They're all equal, okay? When a quadrilateral has four equal sides, it's called a rhombus. And that will be the best name for that one. It is called a rhombus. 4 equal sides. And I'm going to put that underneath. Now, we don't have the option here. How could you check and see if the sides are equal? We could certainly measure, couldn't we? And if you had a paper at home and you had a ruler and you wanted to measure, you could certainly do that. We don't have that option right now because it's on the board. Okay? You're going to have to trust me that I intended to make them equal in their length. All right? A rhombus, a figure with 4 equal sides. Is this one a rhombus over here? It's not. It didn't have 4 equal sides. This one does. Okay? So, we check the length. That's the first thing. We want to check the length. They're all equal. Okay? Second, let's check and see if they're parallel. Is the opposite side of this one, is this side and this side, are they parallel? Well, yeah, they are. They go in the same direction, don't they? Right? This one and this one run in the same direction. They are parallel to each other. They're parallel. Are these two sides parallel? Do they go in the same direction? They do. So if it has 2 pairs of parallel sides, this is also a what? It's a parallelogram. It's also a parallelogram. Can you think of another thing that it is? How many sides does it have? It has 4 sides. If it has 4 sides, it's a quadrilateral. So this figure can go by 3 names, okay? It has 4 sides, quadrilateral. It has parallel sides, 2 pairs. It's a parallelogram. It has 4 equal sides. That makes it a rhombus, and that's its best name, its most descriptive name, is that it's a rhombus, okay? So we've learned 3 things so far. If it has 4 sides, it's a quadrilateral. If it has 2 pairs of parallel sides, it's a parallelogram. And if all 4 sides are equal, it's a rhombus. Let's take a look at the next figure. Now, you know this one. You've known this one since you were small and walking around your house, right? When you were a toddler walking around, oh, the rectangle. Yeah, you know that's a rectangle. Sure you do, okay? We're going to talk about why it's a rectangle. First, let's see what else it is. What else could we call this? Does it have 4 sides? Yes, so it's a quadrilateral. Does it have opposite sides parallel? Are they parallel? They are. Are they parallel? They are. So it's also a parallelogram. Is it a rhombus? No. No. To be a rhombus, 4 sides have to be equal, and these are not. This is longer than this, so it's not a rhombus. All right, we said originally it's a rectangle. That's the best name for this one. It is a rectangle. Now, what makes a rectangle a rectangle? Well, take a look at the angles. An angle is where 2 sides meet and join together, okay? And when you have 2 sides or 2 lines or line segments that meet and they share a point, they can meet in 3 ways, okay? They can make a very small angle, that's called an acute angle. They can make a very large angle, that's called an obtuse angle, or they can make that perfect square corner, and that's called a right angle. This rectangle has 4 right angles. Each of these corners I can make a perfect square in. And when a quadrilateral has 4 right angles, it's a rectangle. So when it has 4 right angles, that makes it a rectangle. All right, what else did we say this one was? Best name is rectangle. 4 sides, that makes it a quadrilateral. All right, and it has the opposite sides that are parallel, so that makes it a parallelogram. Okay? It did not have equal sides, so it is not a rhombus. So those are the 3 names for that shape. A rectangle, because it has 4 right angles. A parallelogram, because it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. And a quadrilateral, because it has 4 sides. Let's move on to this shape. This is another one you've known since you were small. That, of course, is a Square, yes. It is certainly a square. But remember, today we want to go beyond just naming it. We want to tell why it's a square. What makes a square a square? Two rules to be a square. Two things have to be true. It must have 4 equal sides, okay? And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, if it has 4 equal sides, that makes it a rhombus. It does, okay? It also has to have 4 right angles. It has to have both of those things to be true. 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. It's got to have both. It's got to have both. Now, if it has 4 equal sides, we already said that's going to make it also a what? It's a rhombus. It sure is. Square is its best name, but it could also be called a rhombus. Okay? If it has 4 right angles, that also makes it a rectangle. Because it has 4 right angles. All right? What else is it? Let's see. It has 4 sides. That makes it a quadrilateral. And it has the opposite sides that are parallel, and that makes it a parallelogram. So you're going to have 5 names for that shape. The best name is a square, but it's a rhombus because it has 4 equal sides. It's a rectangle because it has 4 right angles. It's a parallelogram because the opposite sides are parallel, and it's a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. Whew. We've got one more quadrilateral to do, and that's this one over here. Okay? It has 4 sides. Of course, that makes it a quadrilateral. All right? Are the sides equal in length? They're not. This side is longer than that side, and that side, and they're both longer than the other sides. So this does not have 4 equal sides at all. Are the opposite sides parallel? Well, part of them. The top is parallel to the bottom, but the 2 sides are not parallel. They go in this way, and if they kept going, they would end up meeting up here. If I could continue, if I drew a dotted line to where they're going, they'd intersect. They would cross up here. They'd meet. Okay? So those 2 sides on the outside are not parallel. This has 1 pair of parallel sides. And when it has only 1 pair of parallel sides, we call that a trapezoid. That is a trapezoid. Okay? 1 pair of parallel sides. And again, I drew those angled lines, okay? I don't want you to think it's 1 pair of 11 sides, 1 pair of parallel sides. All right, so it only has the 1 pair. It's not a parallelogram because a parallelogram has 2. This only has 1. The top is parallel to the bottom, and that's it. All right, what else is this figure? Well, it has 4 sides, so that makes it a quadrilateral. Okay, it's a quadrilateral. We said it doesn't have 2 pairs of parallel sides, so it can't be a parallelogram. Are the sides the same length? No, it's not a rhombus. Does it have 4 right angles? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have those square corners. Okay, and it's certainly not a square. So the only thing this is, besides a quadrilateral, is a trapezoid. So guys, those are your quadrilaterals. Those are your 4-sided figures. So if you're looking at a 4-sided figure, you have to stop and you have to say, all right, what does it have? 4 sides, quadrilateral. 2 pairs of parallels, parallelogram. Are they equal? Rhombus. Right angles, 4 of them. 4 of them. It's got to have 4. Rectangle, right? So what if I drew this shape? I'm going to draw one and then I'm going to stop because it's getting long. All right? I'm going to draw it like this. Okay, that's nothing like anything on the board. So what can we call this? Let's see. Let's go through our list, all right? Does it have 4 sides? Yes, quadrilateral. That would be a quadrilateral. Are the opposite sides, does it have 2 pairs of parallel sides? Well, the top and the bottom are parallel. They go in the same direction. But this side and this side don't. They would meet. So it has only 1 pair of parallel sides. Hey, wait a minute. If it has 1 pair of parallel sides, what must that be? It's a trapezoid. That's a trapezoid. Okay? So there you go. So when you look at your figures, you want to see, are the sides parallel? Are they the same length? And what kind of angles does it have? That's going to help you to figure out what your quadrilaterals are. Okay? So you can always come back to this video and go through it and say, all right, what are the attributes that I'm looking for? Okay? There should be a link for you to click on for you to practice naming some different figures. All right? Good luck. Keep working hard.